Going on, everybody? Good old JM here with you on this Throwback Thursday as we present yet another out of the archives right here on the Casa D18 Studios. JJ, I know, has been working tirelessly to comb through everything on the NoDQ channel, on the Jeff Meacham Network, on his own Casa D18 Studios, on the J. Hebert 95 Studios, the Simple Man brand, to present to you something that you may not have seen before, something that you haven't seen in a long time, perhaps. I know I'm looking forward to what the Renegade has in store, and I hope you are too. Kick your feet up, enjoy a little respite from the craziness of a Thursday, and enjoy this classic content right here on the Casa D18 Studios.
Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
Hello everyone, welcome to episode number 12 of Talk Wrestling here on NoDQ.com or MySpace or YouTube. Thank you very much for waiting patiently for me to return. I know it's been a couple weeks. I was in DC and I've been sick, so I apologize for the long delay between shows, but I'm back better than ever. Don't worry about that. Let's just get right to your questions. Let's not waste any time today. So lots happened since I've been away the last couple weeks. It's amazing what a couple weeks vacation will do to you, but let me start with these cryptic videos that have been playing. Everybody has been saying it's Chris Jericho coming back. You know what? It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Chris Jericho is rumored to be coming back. Chris Jericho is supposedly on his way back to WWE. So it wouldn't surprise me if it is him. And all the clues point to him. You know, somebody was talking about that it points to Shawn Michaels. Well, Shawn Michaels came back on Monday Night Raw, and it wasn't anything to do with him. So it's not him. Some people are saying it could be Edge. That's another possibility. Edge is supposed to come back for Survivor Series, if not a little bit later. So we'll see what happens with that. What else is going on? TNA had their first 2-hour Impact. I enjoyed it. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people thought it was very overbooked and very overdone, which I tend to agree with to a point. I mean, they tried to fit a lot into those 2 hours, and they really threw a lot of it together. I think the fact that the main segment, the last segment, was a satellite feed of Kurt Angle and Sting's son was kind of like, okay, I don't understand why this is happening, but okay. I think that they should have ended it with the 8-man tag match. I think that was a good way to end the show. It was a great match. The matches themselves were not that bad, except for Black Reigns' match. That was kind of bad. But I think that TNA has a long way to go to compete with WWE, but their first 2-hour broadcast was a success, in my opinion. They just need to improve. They just need to work on it more. No Mercy went down this last weekend. We had 3 WWE title changes in one night. Shows you the stability of the championship without John Cena being around, doesn't it? John Cena was champion for a year, no title changes. Then you had Orton awarded the title, then lost it to Triple H, then lost it back to Orton in a last man standing match. So, very interesting night of championship changes. We also have Beth Phoenix become the new women's champion, which should be a very interesting situation for the entire women's division on Raw, with the Glamazon holding the championship. She's one tough broad, I'll tell you. She's going to be a very formidable champion to be reckoned with for sure. And of course, TNA has got their pay-per-view coming up this weekend, Bound for Glory. I'm torn between ordering the pay-per-view and staying home that weekend, or I'm going to be going to Rocky Horror no matter what, but it's either going to Rocky Horror and staying down there and then going to PWG's show, which is going to be a good show. The main event's going to be the American Dragon Bryan Danielson against Roderick Strong, which is going to be a phenomenal main event for the World Championship at PWG, or watch TNA's pay-per-view. I'm torn, so I don't know what I'm going to do. Should be very interesting to see. This is from OR. Just what it says right there, OR. There are rumors that TNA is coming to Israel in November. Is this true? Evidently so. According to TNAWrestling.com, they are going to be making a tour of Israel. They're going to have a show there, I believe, on the 17th of November, if memory serves me correctly, which is a big thing for TNA to make a tour outside of the South United States, even. Not just out of the United States, but out of the South United States, because that's where they've been running. The fact that they did New York recently was interesting for them, but now they're going all the way to Israel, which is really exciting for them. So hopefully it'll be more toward their global expansion. Hopefully they'll get more viewers. Hopefully they'll get more, a broader audience, and hopefully they'll be more successful. This is from Michael. This year has obviously been a troubling one in the wrestling world. TNA is obviously not utilizing their talent correctly and is mostly relying on superstars of the past to lead their shows. Not only that, but the WWE has been plagued with numerous injuries this year, along with suspensions and congressional interference in the aftermath of the Benoit tragedy, leaving them with hardly any superstars that are popular with the audience. With the way things are headed, do you think this is the beginning of the end of mainstream wrestling? People have talked about the end of mainstream wrestling for the last 25 years. Ever since, the big, not 25 years, I'd say the last 15 years. With the big steroid scandal back in the early to mid-90s with Hogan and Vince and all the WWF superstars at the time. Mainstream wrestling is going to be around as long as WWE is around. I don't think WWE is going anywhere anytime soon, in all honesty. I think that WWE has proven that they can succeed without superstars. This next few months will be very interesting because they've lost John Cena, who has been their guy for the last 3 years. John Cena has been the top dog in WWE since WrestleMania of 2005 to WrestleMania 21, and now he's out for 6 months to a year. So if they can survive without Cena, they can survive without anybody, in my opinion. It's not like back in the day where it was just Hogan you had to rely on, or just Austin, or just The Rock, or just Triple H. They have a wide variety of superstars. Yes, they've had a lot of injuries this year, but most of those guys are back. Yes, there have been suspensions this year, but most of those guys are back. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens with that. Mr. Dougherty, in your opinion, what are the top 5 best wrestling cities and why? I like that question. That's a good question. But the why, the thing you have to decipher with wrestling cities is, you have to have good crowd reactions, good attendance, good feedback from the people. The crowd has to be, very boisterous, very loud, very, very, very live, as they say. Not in any particular order, but Chicago's a great wrestling city. New York, of course, is a great wrestling city. I'll say Los Angeles. I love LA. They got a great wrestling city here. We've got a lot of wrestling out here to support, and we've got a lot of good promotions out here to support. So I think we do pretty good out here. What else? Texas. Any of the major cities in Texas is a good wrestling city, and I'll even go as far as say Anaheim, because Anaheim's like kind of in the LA same area. Anaheim's a good wrestling city too. They have a lot of great fans down in Anaheim. They have a lot of great fans that come into Anaheim for the shows. So I'll say anywhere in California, pretty much anywhere in Texas, anywhere in New York, and Chicago's a great wrestling city, as I said, and Orlando's got a pretty good decent following too. They're mainly TNA, but they still got a good following in Orlando. This is from our buddy Kristen, one of the original Talk Wrestling fans. Do you think WWE will ever rehire Road Dogg and Billy Gunn if they can get out of TNA? I miss them and wouldn't mind them coming back even if they were to use a different name. Well, based on the fact that Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, now known as the Voodoo Kin Mafia, Kip and BG James in TNA, basically attacked WWE at every turn the last few months before they started their recent run here in TNA that they've been doing recently. I don't think you'll ever see them back in WWE because they don't want to be a part of WWE anymore. They don't want to be part of that, that whole thing. They don't want any part of it. I think they're happy with TNA. I don't think they want to get out of TNA. I think they're happy with what they're doing, and I think it's very unlikely that you'll see them in WWE again. This is from our buddy Greg Cherry from the XMV days. Rumor has it that Rawhead writer Brian Gerwitz is a big fan of Delirious, and I am as well. Do you think that if he came to WWE, they would repackage him, or is Delirious gimmicky enough to possibly make it as he is now? I don't see Delirious coming to WWE in the gimmick that he's in now. I think it's a little too gimmicky. Even for WWE, which is something to say. WWE being too gimmicky. But yeah, I think he's a little bit too gimmicky for WWE. I think if they did bring him in, the wrestler, they would probably repackage him as something else. This is from Chris Angels Hill. So what's up with MVP holding frickin' tag gold and the US gold at the same time? Do you think that MVP will eventually get a world title run, and will Matt Hardy ever finally get the next one? No, this is for this one.
Okay.
This is for this one.
Yes, we do.
Okay. This is from Chris Angels Hill. So what's up with MVP holding frickin' tag gold and the US gold at the same time? Do you think that MVP will eventually get a world title run, and will Matt Hardy ever finally get the United States title? I think definitely Matt Hardy will get the US title in the next few weeks, hopefully soon. I don't think you'll see MVP become the world champion. I just don't see that happening. I like MVP a lot, I really do. I don't see him as a world championship superstar. I don't see that happening. But I do think that you'll see Matt Hardy with the U.S. Championship probably after MVP and Matt Hardy lose the tag belts, which should probably be pretty soon, maybe even as early as Cyber Sunday. You'll see Matt Hardy win the U.S. title, but I don't know about MVP winning the world title. This is from Worth. Have you seen Luke Hawx wrestle before, and do you think he should be picked up by WWE or TNA? This is Luke Hawx, who was on Wrestling Society X, who used to be in XPW under the name Altar Boy Luke. I have seen him wrestle. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's a great athlete. I think he's a great wrestling competitor. I think a possibility of him going to TNA is not out of the realm of likelihood. but I don't think you'll see him in WWE. I don't, unless they put him in the cruiserweight division and have him being just another generic cruiserweight, which could very well happen. But I don't think you'll see him in WWE unless they put him in the cruiserweight division. TNA, though, is a very distinct possibility. He could be a major player in the X division, in my opinion. This is from Daniel, also known as Big D. With Sandman getting released a few weeks ago, how much longer do you think Tommy Dreamer will last in the WWE ECW? I think Tommy will last as long as there is an ECW, strictly because he is the, quote, heart and soul of the original ECW, and they need that anchor for ECW. I think Tommy's a good anchor for that brand. Yes, they have CM Punk, who's the champion. Yes, they have John Morrison coming back. Yes, they have, Big Daddy V and the Boogeyman and, all those other guys. But I think Tommy Dreamer kind of brings that old school ECW attitude to the current ECW incarnation. So I think as long as there is an ECW brand, you'll see Tommy Dreamer around. This is from Shadow. What do you think of Kevin Nash's idea of bringing Scott Hall and Sean Waltman to TNA? I applaud it. I think that Scott Hall would be a good idea to bring into TNA if he's ready to go. If he's not, 100% clean and sober, keep him away from TNA, keep him away from wrestling, in my opinion. But if he's ready to go, let's see what he's got. Scott Hall is a proven commodity in this business. Scott Hall's a proven athlete in this business. So let's see what he can do if he's ready to go. As far as Sean Waltman, our buddy from XMV, I'd love to see Sean Waltman get another run. It'd be cool to see him in TNA again and maybe have him be X Division champion, maybe even TNA World Champion. He's never been a World Champion, so why not? Let him have the World Championship for a while. I think Sean Waltman would be a great addition to the X Division. I think he'd be a great addition to the overall company. So I think bringing them both in would be good as long as they're both ready to go and on their game. This is from Jason. I was wondering your opinion of Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. I liked Mr. Perfect. I liked Kurt Hennig. I really did. I was sad to see him pass away a few years ago. We actually, Aaron and Mike and I found out about it before the Raw episode on whenever it was, May in 2003, when we were at Staples Center. They announced it, the Power 106 guys announced it over the radio that he had passed away. Very, very sad. But I liked his character. I loved his Mr. Perfect character. I think it was one of the best characters in WWE history. He was a great Intercontinental Champion. I won't say he was the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, but he is one of the greatest Intercontinental Champions of all time. I think that he could have done a lot more in WCW had they given him the opportunity. I think his WWE run could have been longer if he hadn't screwed up with the whole thing with the overseas flight and whatever. But I think that he definitely got his due. He was a great athlete, a tremendous second-generation superstar, following the footsteps of his father, Larry the Axe Hennig. Just a great athlete, great personality, great talent, and it was very sad to see him go when he did. This is from the one RJM. Hey, I've heard you mention Pac a few times. I've seen him wrestle a lot over here in the UK, and I'm very pleased he's made an impact in America. What are your opinions of him, and do you think he can make a big name for himself in companies like Ring of Honor or maybe even TNA? I think Pac could be a tremendous asset to Ring of Honor. He's proven he can wrestle here in the United States. He's a great addition to the PWG roster. I think that he could do very well in Ring of Honor. He could even do well in TNA in the X Division. I'd like to see him do an Ultimate X match, because the stuff he does in the ring, just in the ring by itself, is crazy. If they put him in a 6-sided ring in an Ultimate X match, he'd probably do things that would blow everybody away. It'd be freaking phenomenal. Not to run AJ Styles there, but he would be absolutely phenomenal in a TNA ring. John Cena's injured. He's out 6 months to a year. I mentioned that earlier in the show. What a terrible thing to happen to John Cena. And, there's rumors. I got a question that I didn't address on the show, that it could be all staged, that it could be the fact that Cena was one of the signature pharmacy people, or that the fact that he's on steroids and they're trying to cover it up with an injury. I don't think that's the case at all. I think he really did tear his. I mean, you could see him wincing every time he moved, and yeah, he could be selling an injury, but I really don't think that's the case. I think that he's legitimately injured, and I think he's going to be out for that entire 6 months to a year. Hopefully he'll get better sooner, though. That's it for Talk Wrestling this week. Don't forget to send your feedback in to my MySpace page on the blog or to YouTube's page at NoDQ&AV username. And check us out at NoDQ.com. Don't forget to check out NoDQ.com's live coverage of Bound for Glory this weekend, and we will see you next time on Talk Wrestling.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 12 of the Renegade of Wrestling. I am your host, JJ Williams, here to bring you my thoughts on the week's worth of wrestling. Last week, we had 5 hours of television on Monday night. No, 4 hours, excuse me. 4 hours. It was 5 on my DVR because we set for overage. You know how Raw likes to go long and all that stuff. Because we had 4 hours of TV on Raw last night with the Hall of Fame ceremony, Raw, and the season premiere of Tough Enough. Let's start with the Hall of Fame. They decided on their 1 hour telecast to show us the Road Warriors, Drew Carey, and Shawn Michaels. The Road Warriors, can't say a thing bad about them. The speech was good. I liked the little touch of putting the Hawk figure on the podium there. You know, I loved the fact that Animal delivered the What a Rush line that used to be Hawk's in tribute to him. Paul Ellering seemed like he was doing pretty good. All in all, their whole little induction was good. Shawn Michaels, again, what bad can we say? I'm surprised, though, they actually showed the click thing at the very end. I figured they would save that as a bonus for the DVD and just cut right before that. But seeing X-Pac, seeing Big Kev come out to honor their boy, X-Pac all in tears. I was joking with my buddies. Sean was crying because he'll never see another paycheck from WWE again. X-Pac's like, oh, this is the last time I'll ever get a check from them.
If he was even paid for that one.
DVD rights.
Aha.
And then they showed us Drew Carey. Don't get me wrong, Kane inducting him, hilarious. I loved how Kane gave his speech about how he eliminated 11 people from the Rumble that year. And what was everybody talking about? Drew Carey. I got a real kick out of that. But seriously, you didn't show us Sunny with the entire Diva roster out there to honor her. You didn't show us Bullet Bob Armstrong, who didn't really do much in the WWE, granted that, but the Road Dogg made his return to induct his father. And you didn't think that was TV worthy? That's just fail. On to Raw. For it being the Raw after WrestleMania, it seemed a little lackluster to me. In the past we've had returns, debuts, all kinds of randomness happened the Raw after WrestleMania. For the most part, this just seemed like another Raw to me, with the exception of Cena Rock's big announcement for WrestleMania 28 in Miami.
What about Sin Cara?
Hold on. You're jumping the gun, man. Jeez.
Sorry.
For those of you that haven't recognized the voice, I've got Mr. TW Jeff Meacham running the camera today. My normal cameraman, Double A, Aaron, is out of town for a little bit. So I got Jeff running the camera.
I'll be quiet, I promise. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Jay.
Talk on your own show.
Yes, sir. We'll just come out tomorrow, by the way.
The Rock John Cena thing, you know, I know Jeff talked about it on his episode that just went out. I don't like the idea of waiting a year for this match. I think times have changed too much. This isn't the era of Hogan Steen. This isn't the era of Taz Sabu, where you can tease that kind of confrontation. The modern era fan, the C Nation, if you will, too much wants to go for the quick fix. You might have been able to get away with the build-up to SummerSlam in Hollywood, but I don't think you're going to make it last to WrestleMania. And what's Rocky going to do? Is he going to appear every now and then and fail, freaking send in a promo via satellite to keep interest? If Rocky's going to be back, I want to see him back. After the way Raw went off the air last week, I want to see The Rock and John Cena versus Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel for the tag team titles at Extreme Rules. That's what I want to see. Put the straps on him. Now you've reeled Rocky in. He's got to defend those belts every 30 days. So you give them pay-per-view matches. Around SummerSlam, you start to build some dissension. Survivor Series comes. They've already lost the belts by then. And The Rock and John Cena on their manned team versus whoever on the other side, traditional Survivor Series match, have one of the two of them turn. Now you've got a solid heel and babyface building up to WrestleMania. Get to the Royal Rumble match, you still haven't really gotten physical interaction between the two of them. You get to the Royal Rumble match, and as soon as one of them gets eliminated, the buzzer goes off, and here comes the other one. You missed confrontation by that much. Then you've got momentum going into WrestleMania, if you're going to do that. But I don't think we can get away with it. Not this day and age. Not when fans want the crazy high spot, the Money in the Bank ladder matches and the Ultimate X matches. And these are what they expect from their wrestlers. This isn't the day and age where you can build up a year-long feud and make it worth and pay off. Because inevitably, the payoff isn't going to be what everybody wants. Either Rocky's going to win, and everyone's going to say, well, why couldn't The Rock put over John Cena? If he's only going to have one match, why can't The Rock put John Cena over? Just like they did with Hogan about Shawn. Just like they did with Hogan about Orton. Or Cena's going to win, and everyone's going to say, Cena didn't deserve to beat The Rock. Cena's not good enough to beat The Rock. The Rock is the great one. Inevitably, the payoff isn't going to be what people want. That's just my opinion, though. As Jeff brought up, Sin Cara debuted both on Raw and SmackDown last week. Right now, it seems like they're kind of teasing him being a free agent. I'm not sure which show he's going to end up with. Time will tell. Personally, I'd like to see him on Raw right now so that we don't have two masked luchadors on SmackDown with Rey Mysterio. Keep them separate for a little bit. Have one on one show and one on the other. Then we get to the premiere of Tough Enough, where a girl named Adrian thinks that the best match that she's ever seen is Alicia Fox and Melina.
Can I walk away, Jay?
You see what the back of the shirt says?
Damn. Bring out the Owen shirt.
Seriously? After a joke like that, you just showed that you didn't have the heart, and Austin made the right decision by sending your ass packing. Seriously. There's way too many matches, even in the little bit of time that I've been into it compared to other people. Seriously, Savage Steamboat, Brett Owen, Brett Shawn, Shawn Brett, or Austin Brett. The list can go on and on. Seriously. Melina and Alicia Fox. That's like saying that your favorite moment in wrestling history was the hatching of the gobbledygooker. And then over on SmackDown, we had Alberto Del Rio versus Christian. Winner gets Edge at Extreme Rules in a ladder match. Raise your hand if you thought Christian was going to win. Jeff, seriously?
I just figured they'd try something different. I mean, you know, I granted Alberto's destiny is to be the world champion, but I figured they might give us Edge and Christian finally.
No.
Oh, well. A guy can dream.
So we get Edge and Alberto Del Rio in a ladder match.
Mm-hmm.
Or so we think. Or so we think. Because tonight on Raw, or last night on Raw, excuse me, this is going up on Tuesday, I get my days mixed up, excuse me. Last night on Raw, Edge retired. Is it a work? Is it legit? Rumor mills are running rampant. A lot of people are saying that this is legit. That this goes back to Edge's broken neck 8 years ago. He's battle wounded, too many scars, too broken down, and he's just at that point where he's hanging it up. One has to question, though, is he hanging it up because he doesn't want a job to Del Rio? Why now? Why on the cusp of putting this young guy over, who, granted, not a big Del Rio fan, but I do believe it's his destiny. I do believe that all that talk is the truth. I believe he will be your next World Heavyweight Champion. Why put that away now? Why are you going to retire now? Why not wait until they go back to Canada? Retire in your home country in front of your native Toronto fans, where you know as soon as you say your speech and put down that microphone, that place is going to erupt with chants and thank you, and the rest of the people are going to be crying, just like you hear in the background. She's crying because Edge is retired.
Poor thing.
Which brings me to my last topic. It's April. It's post-WrestleMania, which means only one thing. Spring cleaning in the WWE. Time to get rid of all those useless talents that are taking up roster spots, taking away money from young guys out there beating their butts trying to get in the business. And I've got my list here of people that I would like to see join the Future Endeavor Club. Kurt Hawkins. Ever since they got rid of Lance Hoyt, Vance Archer, he's done nothing. If you're not going to put him back with Zack Ryder, get rid of him. He's useless. The Usos. You already had Tamina leave them to join the trombone-playing Santino Marella. That was the nail in their coffin right there. Seriously. So get rid of the Usos. Get rid of Caitlyn. She won the NXT Divas, and what has she done? I can't remember the last time I saw her on television. Primo. Kind of just been floundering in lower to mid-card hell ever since Carlito got released. They turned him heel with Carlito. Carlito left. He stayed heel. He's doing crap. Khali and Ranjin Singh. I'm just going to move on from that one because seriously, the great Khali at 7 feet, 300, 400 pounds, whatever he is, he's taken like 3 roster spots just himself. Trent Beretta. Again, you got rid of Kalen Croft last year. I liked the Dude Busters. They reminded me a lot of Young Hardys. I saw good things in their future. Apparently the scriptwriters didn't because they got rid of Croft. Get rid of Beretta. Let them go out and pound the indie circuit together. Reunite in Ring of Honor just like the world's greatest tag team did. Maybe they could challenge them for the ROH tag titles. Congrats, by the way, Shelton Charlie. There's nothing for Beretta to do. Tyler Rex. 1 minute, he's a fun-loving surfer dude. Another minute, he's a dingy beach bum. Guess he was always a beach bum, but you know, this beach bum looks like he'll actually hurt you. The other beach bum you wanted to go smoke a bowl with. Tyler Rex and RVD. Interesting tag team.
Well, no, because Matt Hardy's already in TNA. So,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And Yoshitatsu.
Oh.
I love Yoshi. He's a gentleman. He's a dignitary. Met him last year. Really cool guy. What the hell is he doing? Nothing. Anyways, that's just my thoughts on a little bit of the last week or so in wrestling. What do you guys think? Comment back. Hit me up. Be on the lookout for Dads of Wrestling this week on Thursday, where me and Jeff and special guest Ray Larkin, the Lady Killer, will be back, and we're going to be discussing the best heels in the business. For now, I'm the Renegade JJ Williams, and I'll see you next time.
now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
Welcome everyone to NoDQ&A video, if you will. That's right, I'm Aaron Rift from NoDQ.com. Let's get right down to your questions via FormSpring. How do you think Kane's career will end? How would you book his retirement storyline, and who would his final opponent be? Well, if I was booking, I would end his career the same way that it started, with the mask. Is that going to happen? I have no idea. I think it would be a great idea in terms of selling merchandise and just doing something different, because he's been playing the same character, without the mask for the past 8 years now, and it would be, a breath of fresh air. I do not see Kane getting the kind of send-off that Shawn Michaels or Ric Flair got, so most likely it'll be something unannounced. Maybe his last match will be at WrestleMania, but, he'll just go off quietly into the sunset, which, frankly, I think that's the way to go for Kane. As far as his last opponent, maybe Randy Orton, but I actually think Kane would be better off as a babyface during his last run, especially with the mask. Everyone's going to be cheering him. Perhaps he'll come back and face someone like Mark Henry as his final match at WrestleMania, with the mask just come out, destroy Mark Henry, and then that'll be it. And I think that's the way to go for Kane, quite frankly. If Kane is going to retire within the next year, do you think that it will set up a triple threat match at WrestleMania, being losers retire from WWE? I think you meant where the losers would retire from WWE. Participants being Triple H, Kane, and The Undertaker. No, I don't see that match happening. They should not be doing retirement matches every year. That takes away the whole retirement stipulation, waters it down. Yeah, I don't see that match happening. They're not going to... First of all, I don't think they're going to do a triple threat match with Undertaker. They're better off doing the one-on-one matches with Taker. And they've already done Kane and Undertaker enough times. Like I said before, if Kane has his final match at WrestleMania, it'll probably be against someone like a Mark Henry or, one of the top SmackDown heels, or perhaps it'll be a Raw versus SmackDown inter-brand match, something like that. But no triple threat, no. Hi, Aaron. Do you think WWE will ever do a pay-per-view from Europe again, like SummerSlam 1992 in England? I'm from Belfast, Ireland, and would love to attend a pay-per-view closer to home someday. Thanks. Well, partly because of the time delay and partly because of the whole internet factor with spoilers getting out. I've said this before on the text NoDQ&A. I don't see WWE doing another pay-per-view overseas like that, with the whole situation. It's just not going to work out very well for WWE. I mean, they might do like a minor pay-per-view, or maybe, probably like a minor pay-per-view I could see them doing someday, but not like a WrestleMania or anything like that. They definitely do not want spoilers getting out, and just not really a good idea in this modern day and age. In your opinion, which death affected the WWE most? Owen Hart, Eddie Guerrero, or Chris Benoit? Well, I think of the three of them, I would say Eddie Guerrero's death had the biggest impact on the wrestling business. When you look at it, Eddie's death resulted in the whole wellness policy, and it was just like a chain reaction of things. And the whole Eddie Guerrero death with the wellness policy and everything, and eventually, Chris Benoit, he was never the same again after Eddie's death, and that kind of led to the whole thing with him finally losing it and that whole unfortunate situation going down. With Owen Hart, maybe, it didn't really change much because they still had guys dropping from the roof after Owen Hart's death. Sting still came down from the rafters, and the wrestling business did not really change with Owen. And with Benoit, definitely a lot of things changed, but part of that whole situation was created due to Eddie Guerrero's death. Maybe if Eddie never died, perhaps Benoit would have stayed healthy or gone out of the wrestling business, or things might have gone differently. Who knows? There's no way to really know for sure what would have happened. What are your opinions on the whole Nexus storyline? When do you think its steam ended? Well, of course, it started off really hot. When that big first angle went down, everyone thought that this was going to be, a big turnaround for WWE. And then, of course, a few days later, Daniel Bryan gets released from WWE. Now, for me, when Bryan got released, I kind of figured that, okay, WWE doesn't really know what they're doing with this storyline. And sure enough, it did not really go anywhere, after that first hot start. Yeah, and then when SummerSlam went down, John Cena won. Wade Barrett kind of, he needed that big win and he didn't get it, and he never really got it. So, yeah, pretty much it fizzled out for sure by SummerSlam, but even right after the first night, you could tell, that it really wasn't going to go anywhere. And, unfortunately, that's what happened. Is that a YouTube poster behind you on your wall? The thing directly behind me is actually my dad's self-portrait. And the other poster over there is True Blood. That is not mine. I do not watch True Blood. That is the mistress's poster. So, there you go. Who do you think is the best heel in the last 10 years? Chris Jericho, no doubt. He reinvented his career with the heel turn, and he won the NoDQ year-end awards, Superstar of the Year, twice in a row. He was the hottest thing in wrestling in 2008, 2009. No doubt about it. So, definitely Chris Jericho. All right, that about does it for NoDQ&A here on NoDQ.com. You can submit your questions to formspring.me/AaronRift. And for the first time, I'm going to ask you guys a question. My question to you is, would you like to see Sean Waltman back in the WWE ring, perhaps as part of the whole storyline with CM Punk and Kevin Nash? Let me know what you think. Yes, no, maybe. Leave a comment, youtube.com/NoDQCAW. Subscribe. Check out the channel. Check out the other NoDQ&A videos. And we'll see you next time for NoDQ&A video.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Scan the QR codes to see what's upcoming for FTW Productions and what's available on demand right now. Button Masters Stable Wars entire playlist. AEW Revolution Go Home Week, Dynamite and Rampage watch parties. Mistress Audio dramatic readings featuring voice actors from Weymouth Youth Wrestling. Elimination Chamber retrospective. WrestleMania Retros coming to the Wrestling Fortune 44 Incorporated channel. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Let's Play series. WrestleMania 19 Revenge Mode Let's Play series. All of A Simple Man's Brand Simply Predicting panels. Both episodes of The Don DeMarco Show. AEW Spark, WWE Aftershock, every show week by week. The entirety of the NASCAR Thunder 2004 Let's Play series. AEW Revolution watch-along coverage featuring Noah Foster and James Hebert. Wrestle Kingdom 17 coverage in conjunction with the Jeff Meacham Network. A Simple Take, WWE Simple Takes featuring Casa D18 Studios. Super Mario Bros. Z voice acting. Episode 3 coming soon. Breaking news. ATW View Impromptu. WYW Intro and Immortal Stream. Royal Rumble Match Marathon with retros of events following Marathon. Plugs have concluded. On to the video.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now. Let's begin now.
Welcome, YouTube fans. I am your host, Double Down. Welcome to the Double Down with Double A, coming to you live via Memorex from right here in the D18 Studios. I know it's been a while since I talked to y'all. I've been busy and stuff like that, and there's like all kinds of stuff going on in my personal life. I don't have to explain everything. However, a couple of things I want to address. One, the arrest and conviction of Michael Jackson's doctor, Dr. Conrad Murray. He was, in case you've been living under a rock, he's been convicted of shit. Excuse me, I stutter a lot. He's been convicted of involuntary manslaughter. it's no big deal. No big thing. I mean, everybody saw that shit was coming. I mean, especially when he's talking about hide this shit before you call 911. Duh, that's good. That right there. Number 2, you are a licensed physician. You know what the man is capable of taking, and you know what he's not not capable of taking. You're responsible for the man's life when you do shit like that. When a man dies in his hands, hey, I'm like this. I'm guilty. Fuck spending taxpayers' money. Just send me up the river without a paddle. Secondly, what I want to talk about. Last night, my good old buddy JJ Williams, who's running the camera for me, came knock on my bedroom door last night and told me Smoking Joe Frazier, former undisputed heavyweight champion, has passed away last night of liver cancer. I was kind of shocked by that. And looking at this man's record, he has a very impressive record. 37 fights with 32 wins, 27 by way of knockout, 4 losses, only 1 draw, no contest. I mean, you follow this man's career, is very impressive. The Thrill in Manila, even the Thrill in Manila alone, which was Ali Frazier 2. Even Muhammad Ali has said himself, if he did not answer the bell at the end of the 14th round, I wouldn't have, because even Muhammad Ali was just spent by the end of the entire match. If you ever seen that match, YouTube it. Go to Gray Sports Almanac. If you have a pops that has that DVD or whatever, look it up. It's one great fight. I seen it myself. I mean, he was possibly one of the greatest fighters from that era. Him, Ali, Foreman, Patterson, Sonny the Bear, listen, all of them were great heavyweight contenders. I ain't got a lot much else to talk about. Like I said, I really don't. I shoot straight from the hip. I try to get a 5-minute episode out there, but I don't. Last night on Raw, we seen the return of Big Daddy Cool, Kevin Nash, Big Sexy Kevin Nash, whatever the hell you want to call him, returning with old school NWO music, and personally, I see a reformation of the NWO with maybe Nash, Sean Waltman, because he's wrestling in the independent circuits right now as we speak, along with maybe not Last Call Hall, because last I heard he's getting in a little bit more trouble. But my question to you, the fans, who do you think would fill in those spots to form a reformed NWO or a reformed Wolfpack? We know it's not going to be Triple H himself, because he's feuding with him. We know it's not going to be CM Punk, because he hates both of them at the same time. We know it's not going to be John Cena. Who do you think is going to be there? Personally, I could see, if he was to form like a 5-man faction or multiple faction, I could see Nash running it, along with Sean Waltman being his lieutenant, Alberto Del Rio, Then you got this new faction that's run along with Christian. What the fuck? Who are the other two? Help me out here. Who are there two? With Christian? Well, there's a couple others. Along with Christian, maybe Vicky Guerrero's little faction that we got going on, and maybe I can't remember who's the others two that I can't remember their names to save my life but I know you fans can help me out with this one. But I definitely do see a new NWO rolling on. Maybe this would be something that would be worth seeing. I'm not sure, because when NWO was going before, I really didn't like it. I liked it for maybe like 4 weeks and it got old with me, just like with the Nexus and just like with a lot of other shit, but that's about it. I think I went less than 5 minutes, but until next time, I am your host, Double A, and thank you for tuning in to the Double L with Double A.
Let's begin now. Let's begin now.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Welcome to episode 12 of Dads of Wrestling.
Mr. TW here, Talk Wrestling's own Jeff Meacham.
The Renegade of Wrestling, J.J. Williams.
I'll have to show that to Rob. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
That was good.
You know what?
That was good.
We've gotten into my feelings on Rob in the past, just personally. I've had enough time making fun of him that I can get his shit down.
There you go.
Good.
There you go. That works.
Last couple weeks, we've been bringing you WrestleMania memories. We've covered, in the past 2 weeks, WrestleManias 1 through 18. Here we are on that home stretch leading into WrestleMania 27,
That's right,
April 3rd in Atlanta.
So, yeah, because next Thursday we're going to talk about our Hall of Fame inductees that they're going to
and our thoughts of the class.
The thoughts of the class, and we will give you WrestleMania predictions.
Yes. But for right now,
WrestleMania memories continue, and hopefully you kids that are watching this will remember these WrestleManias because they're more recent.
I know I do.
I do. Yay me.
WrestleManias 19 through 26.
19, again, another one I was supposed to be at. We were going to do, because Extreme Mayhem had just started picking up steam, my old audio show with Mike and Aaron. We were going to take the trip to Seattle and go to the Safeco Field and check it out, and just for some reason it never happened. Looking back, part of it was good, part of it was like, don't worry about missing it. Yeah. Michaels Jericho was phenomenal.
Yes.
Brock and Kurt was sick just because of the shooting star fuck.
Yeah.
That ended up
Matt Hardy and the WrestleMania debut of Rey Mysterio in his Daredevil costume.
Yes, which is going to be part of our WrestleMania stuff next week. WrestleMania Rewind next week.
Who can forget the WWE's favorite band, Limp Bizkit,
twice
performing Crack Addict and bringing Undertaker to the ring with Roland,
which is a throwback because he wasn't using.
Yeah, I was gonna say which he wasn't using then, but since they had them live,
screw it. Yeah, great performance by them. Let's get through. Yeah, Undertaker had the flag on the back, and that was just a bad. And then he carried the match by himself.
You want to talk about fail? Fred Durst is like the douche of douches, but he was on point at WrestleMania 19.
Yep. And the fact he didn't swear the whole time during that song, that's an applause right there for Fred Durst. He didn't swear. Good job, Fred.
With his freaking red backwards baseball cap.
Just looking like one of the Imagination movers. Which one? Yeah. Where's the hat?
All of them do. That's Scott.
The red backwards hat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now we're getting into. We talk about how we're not a PG show, Jeff, and we're talking about Imagination movies.
I fail. All right.
Yeah. Walk on. All right. WrestleMania 19, though, was also the third and final match in the WrestleMania series of Rock and Austin.
And The Rock finally overcame the odds, overcame the obstacle that was Stone Cold Steve Austin, got the victory, and then he talked about it in his book.
Yeah.
They leaned over each other and said, I love you too, man. That's just such a special moment.
Austin felt like he kind of owed it to The Rock, because The Rock definitely helped make Austin and Mania.
The problem was, Austin felt he owed it to Rock because Rock was going to continue on and be his career, and then he left. He's had 2 matches since then. Backlash against Goldberg and the 3-on-2 at WrestleMania 20. Good segue there. You like that?
There you go.
That was good.
And in my opinion, and you can debate me if you'd like to, Jeff. In my opinion, WrestleMania 20 was the last great WrestleMania. I mean, here I am rocking the WrestleMania 21 shirt that I was actually at.
Right.
But WrestleMania 20 was the last great WrestleMania because you had
almost all the titles defended.
Well, not even that, but you had Angle and Eddie, classic match.
Yep.
You had Triple H versus Shawn versus Benoit.
You said the B word.
I know. Which was classic, and especially the moment at the end of the match where Eddie came out and they embraced in the ring after all those years of being told that neither one of them would ever be world champion.
Too small.
They're both on top of the freaking world.
Yep.
You had, although it was a clusterfuck, you had Goldberg and Brock.
Which was a great moment because everybody was counting down on their clocks. Okay, when is Steve gonna stun him? When is Steve gonna stun him? Oh, there it is. Okay, good.
Victoria versus Molly.
Hair
versus title.
Yep.
And Molly getting scalped. I still say they should have brought Beefcake back to scalp her.
I've been saying that they should have Beefcake right up there at the ramp. Just
the Cruiserweight Invitational,
which is actually really good considering it could have been a clusterfuck. It turned out really good.
Like I said, in my opinion, that was the last great WrestleMania.
Yeah, there have been
moments since then, but curtain jerker through Benoit winning the title as the finale.
It was all good. Yep.
I can't find a fault with WrestleMania 20. Unless
can't
those of you at home, want to fault Benoit because he went off and murdered his wife and kid and everything he's done since then. That's fine if you want to do that.
Or you Cena haters.
Yeah. Even Cena versus Big Show. That was the curtain jerker.
That was a good match.
Cena getting his first title. As much of a Cena hater as I am, I applauded Cena. I loved him then.
Yep.
Then.
There is Facebook proof of this.
Yes. Go to my page. You'll see pictures of me wearing Word Life.
Word Life, the visor.
Yeah.
The Word Life visor, not even the hat.
Yeah.
The visor.
I had the gear. I was a fan.
It's
until
just
he got watered down.
We were all fans until he won the championship and moved to Raw, and we saw him every week on the flagship show.
As soon as he moved to Raw, that was the end of him for me.
Which leads us to WrestleMania 21.
The one that I was at.
Now,
my WrestleMania debut, ironically, 5 years to the day of my first wrestling event.
This is true.
April 3rd, 2000, the Raw after WrestleMania 2000,
right,
to April 3rd, 2005, WrestleMania 21.
Now, will you agree with me that WrestleMania 21 was good? Even the women's match was actually pretty good. The sumo match, sink, and then the title match just sucked.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Now, here's my thing with WrestleMania 21. When I was there, live watching it.
Oh, of course it's great when you're there, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I got caught up in the moment. I loved it. I'm not a Hulkamaniac.
But Hulk coming out was
But I cried when Hulk came out to save Eugene.
I did too.
I'll admit it to the rest of the Dads on Wrestling fans, the DOW universe, if you will. I cried when Hogan made the save for Eugene. I really did.
I'm off in the cry. I'm off in the
Piper's
DOW universe. Piper's Pit with Steve Austin.
Piper's Pit, Money in the Bank, the original.
The original Money in the Bank with Edge, yes.
Eddie versus Ray.
The start of a great saga there, Eddie and Ray.
Yeah, unfortunately it had a failed ending.
Yeah,
but the show there was awesome. I came home and I watched it back and I'm like, I don't remember this dragging so long.
Yeah, definitely.
Michaels and Shawn. Classic.
Michaels and Kurt.
Yeah, excuse me. Michaels and Kurt.
Okay.
Michaels is Shawn. Classic match. Vintage, if you will. Go ahead, walk. You know you want to. Vintage match. But they probably could have cut about 10 minutes out of that and made it
just as good. It would still been great, yeah.
Just as good.
Yeah. My only problem watching on TV was it did drag, and everything after the women's title match just sucked monkey balls.
Here was my thing. As soon as they started to set up for the sumo match, I went to go buy my Roddy Piper t-shirt. Okay? I was like, I'm not going to watch the Big Show in a thong wrestling another fat Japanese dude in a thong.
Who was coming out of his thong, by the way?
I was good on that. Yeah. So I went to go get the shirt. I'm in line to pay for the shirt, and I hear dun 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 dun, because Cena's about to come out and make his entrance. And I'm like, oh shit, I need to get out there to see this match. By the time I get back to my seat, which is all the way in the freaking boondocks, I could reach up and touch the top of Staples Center.
Nice.
Okay. By the time I get back to the seat, dun, 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 the match is over.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't even get to see Cena win the title.
That was a 10 minutes of JBL beating up Cena, duck the clothesline, F you over.
Yeah. It wasn't even 5 moves then. It was just like 2.
It was duck the clothesline, F you over. That's it.
But back to the point I was trying to make. The Triple H Batista match. Okay, I don't like Batista.
No, I don't either.
But I think that was the best match the 3 of them had. Or the 2 of them had out of the 3.
Okay.
I think the Triple H Batista match was okay. It wasn't main event classic. It definitely didn't deserve to be the last match.
God, the one at Backlash was awful. So.
But it was a good match.
Right.
IMO. Disagree with me if you want.
All right. 22. Triple H, John Cena. Okay.
Fail.
Undertaker and Mark Henry. Epic fail. Sorry, but Mark Henry.
Money in the Bank with RVD getting the briefcase. That's like the best thing
It's
that
like the
happened.
best thing that happened all night because you know what? I knew in January when I talked to my next MV and we interviewed him at the store, I could feel it. I'm like, dude, he's going to Mania. We're going to see him
He's
win the world
healthy.
title.
They're going to do another one-night stand. They're going to give him the briefcase and they're going to give him the strap.
Yeah,
we kind of saw it coming.
Yeah,
when he cut the promo at the first one-night stand, you could feel the seeds being planted.
Oh yeah, it was just a matter of time. And of course, then he got busted. But you know what? Robbie even said the best thing ever happened to him because the awareness was out there for the drugs and everything. So you know, hindsight, all that stuff. Other than that, 22 sucked. Okay. Well, no, Vince and Shawn was okay. Vince and Shawn was
okay.
It was okay.
22 is best remembered as planting the seeds for the DX reunion.
True. All right, 23. Thanks to AA for the. Sorry about that, wrong name. AA for the shirt here. One size too small for my fat ass. Batista Undertaker, surprisingly good.
Undertaker carried him.
Okay, but you know what? He carried him well.
Cena,
Shawn Michaels, great start.
Horrible finish.
But they made up for it in England with that hour match. That was fucking awesome.
And here's where I can really start to pinpoint the Cena hate. There is no way Shawn Michaels should have tapped out to John Cena.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Or Triple H the previous year, for that matter.
Triple H you could almost see. Almost. Because Cena was hotter than Trips at that moment.
Michaels
but Shawn was huge, and Cena had 90% of the crowd booing him.
Yeah. That should have been the turn right there.
They should have put the strap on Shawn.
Oh, I forgot about 22, Mickey and Trish.
Anyways.
That was, oh, come on.
Back to 23.
That was awesome. 23, they had Ashley and Melina. Anyway.
Money in the Bank 3 with the only person to win Money in the Bank that did not cash it in.
Mr. Teenage Champ. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
24.
I was there again.
Orlando.
My second WrestleMania.
Shawn Flair. I'm sorry. I love you. Kick.
And then it meant nothing.
Yes, because Flair had to go.
Flair had to go and sign with TNA. It meant.
Well, if he wasn't going through another divorce and more legal problems.
And alimony number 568.
You know.
God.
Flair probably would have kept his word, but you know.
At least Shawn seems to be keeping his. We'll see what happens as we lead it next week. We'll see what happens next week. Undertaker Edge, the main event, only appealed to my heartstrings because my dad's favorite wrestler, Undertaker, was Undertaker win the world title live. No idea about the pyro explosions after. We get to the hotel and we're getting phone calls. You guys okay? What happened? We turn on the news. Holy shit! The pyro was going off all over the place at the top of the Citrus Bowl. Money in the Bank. Again. CM Punk wins. John Morrison with the moonsault with the ladder in his hand. Highlight of the match. Honestly, I remember that from the match and CM Punk winning. That's it. That Money in the Bank didn't really oomph me like the other ones previous did.
23's Money in the Bank I remember because it's like the most star-studded out of all of them. You had both Hardys, you had Edge, you had Flair, and Money in the Bank.
I don't know. In 21, you had Edge, you had Christian, you had Benoit, you had Shelton Benjamin, you had.
But you had Flair. You had Orton.
Flair and Orton, and Edge was back in that one.
Yeah, and the Hardys.
And the Hardys.
You figure Hardys and Edge made ladder matches for the new era.
True.
25. The biggest epic failure in WrestleMania history.
Yes.
They had handed to them on a silver platter the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania. Could have been the biggest thing since the first WrestleMania. And what do? 25 Diva Battle Royal where a dude and drag wins.
And instead of giving, let me go on that. Instead of giving the girls entrances like they should have, because
they all come up to
Kid Rock starts being, and all of a sudden the girl, I heard about this. They literally said, "Okay, girls, go," and they're like, "Wait, what the?" And they literally just pushed them out the curtain and said, "Just go." So no Sunny entrance, no Molly Holly entrance, none of that stuff.
I didn't even know who half the women were in the ring until they got eliminated because they didn't get introductions.
Yeah, it was stupid.
I mean, I knew who they were. I'm not an idiot
We
like
knew
that,
who
but
they
like
were going in, but we didn't know who was in it as far as
yeah,
who
until they got eliminated, and they were like, oh, there went Sonny. I was like, oh shit, Sonny made it.
Oh, cool. Sonny
Cool.
made it.
Sonny was there.
Sonny, yay, Sonny.
Sorry you got eliminated, but
yeah,
glad to see you back. You're hot again.
Yeah, she was hot again.
Last year, WrestleMania 26.
Flagger, Money in the Bank.
Yes.
Taker Sean 2. Oh, wait, Taker Sean 1 25 was better than Taker Sean 2, in my opinion. But Taker Sean 2 is one we're going to watch because it's getting the most votes, it looks like. And then you had Cena Batista, which JJ turned around.
I would not even watch it.
He stood
It
up in
was
his
so
chair,
craptastic.
Stood in his chair and stood and back to the TV. I was like,
The
dude,
entire house I was watching it in heckled me. Because they're like, dude, Cena's the future of the company. Get over it, get over it. No.
No,
I am not going to watch this crap fest.
And Cena, of course, wins, gets the title back, blah, blah, blah.
Edge Jericho kind of stole the night from me.
Oh, definitely, especially with the spear after.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Jericho gets his ass flaggered 2 nights later. So, next week, Hall of Fame talk.
Yes.
And WrestleMania predictions leading into the granddaddy of them all, if you will. Of course, that was Starrcade, but the biggest spectacle in sports entertainment, WrestleMania 27. We will see you guys next week.